We begin in California. Severe weather there truly pummeling the state.
Mandatory evacuations are in effect in several areas. More than 200,000 people are also said to be without power. Some areas have reported more than a foot of rain in the past 48 hours. The dangerous storms are triggering severe flooding, mudslides, and even sinkholes in parts of the Golden State.
CBS News correspondent Elise Preston, as you see there, is on the beach in Santa Barbara. Elise, this is a place so many people wish to live, work very hard to save up enough money to live on the California coast, but that appears to also be part of the problem. How are emergency crews dealing with this ongoing severe weather threat?
Well, they are busy, that's for sure, Errol and Lana. Good afternoon to you. This morning, they are monitoring several road closures in this area. Part of 101, a major highway here in California, is shut down right now because there are just globs of mud that are scattered across all lanes of the highway. Meanwhile, last night, those rescue workers were busy trying to help people out of their vehicles and help people evacuate their homes. Yesterday, we stopped by a shelter. I saw a woman. She was visibly shaken. Her toddler son was just like gripping her as they walked into the shelter. The woman was crying. She said that they got stuck in their vehicle as that water came down and it was rushing. So rescue workers helped her and her toddler son get out of the car. A sheriff's deputy walked in that shelter. He was carrying diapers. So you could imagine that woman was just completely ill prepared for the rain. I also saw a photo that Santa Barbara put out. A man was in a van. He was stuck in high, muddy water. The water covered about halfway of this van, which is a large vehicle, and the man was climbing out of the van on top of to the roof of his car, where rescue workers had put a ladder on top so that he could climb to safety. So as you can imagine, these rescue workers have been working around the clock trying to get people to safety.
Well, and there's so many places that are at risk right now, and that's why thousands of evacuation orders are underway. Part of what makes this so tough is the rapid succession of storms. We were just discussing this is the fifth storm since Christmas. At least I'm wondering, is there any idea when some of these residents may be able to return home?
Well, I think that's part of the frustrating part. Errol, you mentioned that this area is where people dream. They save up their money to try to live here one day if they can. In the shelter last night, we saw a man in a nice full suit, dressed, and right here these hotels are at capacity, so a lot of people, they could only go to shelters. So to see that image was just such a juxtaposition there, and people were saying that they don't know when they're going to go back home. And there's also people who don't live in this community. They are stuck here as well because they couldn't drive. They might work nearby, or they drove down to LA for a doctor's appointment, and then they couldn't get up the roadway. And it's interesting because they were somewhat kind of calm. I thought that I would be freaking out. I asked someone, how are you remaining so calm? And they said, what else would I do right now in this situation? There's nothing to do. They don't know when they can go home. Some people were actually just sleeping in their cars, trying to wait out the time so that they would be able to go home eventually.
And, you know, I think part of it, too, is because for some, this is not unexpected. You live on the coast, there will be severe weather. If it's not the earthquakes in California that will get you, it's kind of like the storm surge and the fires. But this feels like, just in slow motion, people are realizing climate change is real. Things like this will become more common. And I'm wondering, from the people that you've spoken with after the drought, a summer of drought and the wildfires, just what some people's thinking is as far as continuing to live in a place where this will continue to happen.
Well, I just spoke to a man. He came out to this beach to look at the water, just the calm right after this last round of storm. And he said, you know, we needed rain, but we did not need this much. He said, this is bad. And we talked about this. Also comes on the anniversary of deadly mudslides. Mudslides 5 years ago yesterday killed 23 people in this same area and destroyed 100 homes. So to your point, Errol, they are used to it, but I don't think it makes it any easier because it's still, in a matter of moments, life or their homes could be gone.
All right, Elise, thank you so much.